We're, we're all, we're all
Yeah,
his
it
parents.
takes a community
Yes, to raise a
to raise
child.
a child. Yes.
Definitely. And that's exactly how it works around here. We all are here to support, the development of little Kai Bear.
Hmm. So tell me about EvoRoom.
What would you like to know specifically? Any questions that pop up about what it is, or
Well, what does what we're doing right now tie into EvoRoom?
well, the mission of the Evo Room is to be able to reach the masses, and for those that aren't engaged in personal growth and personal development. That's like my underlying, purpose. But what it actually is as an entity, it's a place for people um, to connect, to discover their own personal power, um, and to accelerate growth. And the way we do that is by using fun and entertainment. And I've noticed in this process that we've been working under that using fun allows for the barriers to break down of our limiting beliefs and all our beliefs about the world. And when we're having fun, our system is open and more conducive to change. And so, and also fun is a great way to reach people because who doesn't want to have fun in their life? I
I
mean,
want to have fun. I want to have fun.
I know you do. I could tell. I could totally tell from the first
I want
time.
to be a part of fun.
I love it. I love your smile. I love the way that you show up in the world. And I think, well, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to connect with you because it's really imperative for us to have like-minded people within the groups that we create and people that like to enjoy life and have fun.
Yeah.
And so those are, the type of environments that we create. And when people are having a good time, it's amazing the conversations that ensue and what results from that.
Hmm. Yeah.
So there's a method to the madness. It's not just like, arbitrary. Or
Uh,
yeah, I just so happen to have that
So
as
tell me how this works, because I've never hung out in like Google, and so I'm excited. Like, how does this work? Like, I mean, I had to click on this like agreement saying that this would be shared with a whole bunch of people,
Yep.
and yeah. So tell me how this works.
How the video is going to be used, or what was specific, or the actual conversation we're going to have, or what.
Yeah, video. How the video is going to be used. I don't know if I want my picture in the video. Here, I'll just kind of do one of these. Look at my scarf. Yeah, like this is my good side actually.
We're gonna talk like this now. I want you to see my right shoulder because that's
Yeah,
my
my
butt,
right shoulder is my good side.
the one I work on a lot in the gym. Can you
Yeah,
tell?
I know, right? You get more defined biceps right here. So,
I love it. Well, how this works. So the premise behind the videos is there's a couple things. Number one, why we do video chats because I like to feel and sense another individual's energy. And aside from, actually physically being with each other, this is the next best thing. So in this way, I could again, kind of get a sense of who an individual is and how they interact with others through video.
mm-hmm.
And then we like to record them for a couple of reasons. One's because I like to share it with our staff, and then this is how we decide who gets put into what group that we create. And then also to share it with others that are interested in potentially having an even room experience. So this allows them to get a feel for, how we do the interviews, what we're going to ask, and all that fun stuff.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, and I would suggest for your business or whatever else you're doing, I think this is a great way to market and promote, what it is that you do because I think with products, people purchase them a lot for the products themselves, but more so when they're connected with the story of why people are doing what they're doing, then there's relating, right? And when you can relate to someone, you're more connected to them, and with that deeper connection leads to um, more interaction with the individual. And I think this is what has allowed the Evo Room to become what it's become is because people can hear my story of why it was created in the first place. right? And
Mm,
where what
right.
I am, what I do in the world, and all the little things that a lot of people may not know about me. And when they connect on that level, it leads to more desire to do the things that we're offering in the world. It's like Michael Jackson that I use as an example. Like most people haven't met Michael Jackson in person, but because the media, you know, covers him so much, we get to know his story personally. And then when he dies, people are crying on the streets, even though they never even met him before. So what are they crying for? Well, they're crying because they can relate to his story. They can relate to who he was and what he brought to the world, and that's where we create connection. And so these video chats are for that, so we can connect with other people. They can hear our story, where we come from, how we show up in the world to create deeper connection.
Jay, tell me something I don't know about you.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Tell me.
Something you don't know about me. The first thing that came to mind was I played football professionally. I tore my ACL, and football was my love and my way of creating the lifestyle for my family that I wanted to create, or that I want to create. And unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately, because if I was still playing football, I'd probably feel more of the pain that I'm feeling right now from these past injuries that I experienced.
You tore your ACL?
Yeah, I tore my ACL, and that was the end of my career.
Oh. And then now you're starting this new project.
Yeah, that the why behind the EvoRoom. I'll share my story with you. So last year was probably the toughest year of my life. Transitioning out of a relationship that I was in caused a lot of suffering and pain for me. And then the death of my little sister, she was only 24 years old back in July, was another thing that created more suffering in my life. And then, financial issues, like I was at the lowest point of my life, like negative bank account. So all these things just compounded, on my spirit. And, I was lost, completely lost. Didn't know what my purpose, is in life. Didn't feel, like I gave anything or was here for a reason. So, one day I was sitting in my room just like bawling my eyes out, trying to figure out like what the hell am I doing? And I called out to the universe and asked, well, what is it that I can do to sustain myself, make money, and make an impact in the world? And then the next morning, the idea for the EvoRoom came to be, and 2 weeks later, we created our first EvoRoom experience.
Wow. Wow, that's incredible. Something beautiful came out of that.
Yeah, so out of pain, it triggered, the question and the desire to figure out, like, what do I need to do, in on this earth? And I'm so glad that now, looking back, like I've had to deal with all those things, because those were triggers for me to, to inquire within myself, like, what is it that I'm doing? What can I do for the world and for myself? And out of all that struggle came some really beautiful things, and came the EvoRoom.
I like that.
So, another reason why we do these interviews is because each EvoRoom experience we create is uniquely designed for the individuals that we gather in the groups, and so this interview allows us to get to know you better, what your background is, what your desires are, what you want to accomplish in the world, and then with that information, we create the experience specifically for those things that we learn about you. And that way it becomes more relevant, and with more relevance comes more impact, and that's at the end of the day, that's what we want to do: impact the individual's life at the deepest level possible, and have fun.
And have fun. That's really important.
Yeah, if it's not fun, I'm not fucking doing it. I just tell you that right now, Sheryl. No, just kidding. But
No, it's true. It's true. I signed myself up for shooting these 10-hour weddings like a year and a half ago, And so they're contracted work, and so I show up, and we're a team with like videographers, and then a second shooter, and the lead photographer. And so it's funny because I show up and I'm like, okay, if we all had a choice to like be bored to death or like have fun, we're all gonna choose to have fun. And they're like, yeah, let's have fun. So yeah, no, I'm with you. I think fun is a really good element, and if you're, you can be doing so many other things in your life, and if you have to be somewhere and you choose to be somewhere, you might as well be having a good time.
Yes. Well, here's something that I'll share with you that I've always kind of understood, I guess, on a conceptual level, but now have really started to embody. So the other day, my friend Tanya came over, and we were having a meeting. So we were at my house, and then we decided to take a walk around the neighborhood. And so there's a park near here that we could walk to. And then when we started walking there, I was like, wait a second. I remembered that at the park there's a basketball court, and Tanya loves to play basketball. So I was like, oh, well, what if I put her in her element, and we have fun doing, we have the meeting on the basketball court, I'm curious what's going to arise from that. And when we were on the basketball court shooting while we're having a meeting, like, I'm not just like saying it, but some really awesome like genius shit was just emerging from us, and we're like, oh my God, we're doing this every single time we have a meeting, because I was in my element, which I love playing basketball, I love sports, and Tanya was in her element because she loves playing basketball. So and this goes back to having fun, when we're enjoying ourselves, I think more information that is really like awesome comes from us, comes out of us. And so that's something that I'm incorporating more into my life, and why fun is really important, because out of that fun emerges some really amazing things.
Yeah. People get inspired when they're in their elements.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it's like ideas flow better, and like and you don't have to work so hard at it. If you're like sitting in your desk, you're like, I'm gonna come up with a great idea, and you're like,
yeah.
Sometimes you're just like hitting yourself against the wall, and then you go and play basketball, and these ideas flow, the creativity is there.
Yes.
So sometimes all it takes, is like an environment you're really good and comfortable with.
So go have sex, and then that's when you brainstorm, right after sex. It's
hey, that's a great idea. Jay. That's why we're friends. You come up with all the good ideas.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I would high-five you right now. Okay. Right. Up top.
So I would like to know more about you, your background, like where you came from, where you were born, what
Whoa, Jay, I don't know if we're there yet. We're
gonna speed right through. This first date, we might as well just like know everything about each other, and whether we're gonna play with each other or not. It's like how it works.
I like that. Play part. Are we finding play partners, compatible play partners? Is this what EvoRoom is about?
It's we're matching play partners. That's what's going on. Don't tell anyone.
Secret safe with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do and kind of where I'm at is that.
Starting off, like when you were really young, what was your life like? As a child, and what you went through and experienced, and then where did you go to high school? I mean, whatever you want to share is like, I want to know your background, and then from that, like what you want to accomplish in the future.
Yeah. So I was born in Los Angeles, and I grew up in the Redlands, Loma Linda area. Are you familiar where that's at?
Yeah, I've been to Redlands University for a quarterback camp, actually.
Oh, yeah, U of R. Okay, yeah. So I went to high school at Redlands High. I was involved a lot in the speech and debate team, and I was just always really involved, in high school, and I didn't have much of a life besides school and all the extracurricular activities that sort of went with high school, and that was for me a lot of drama and speech and debate. And then right after I finished high school, I went to UC Santa Barbara just for 1 year, and I was a little lost college student. I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew I loved to take pretty pictures. And I didn't know what that meant. I just like, Mom, I love to take pretty pictures. And she's like, I know, but you still have to get a degree.
Mm.
And I was like, oh man, this is like 4 years. That's a lot of my life in school, you know. It was kind of, you know, made my made me uneasy to think I'd have to be in school for 4 years. So after UC Santa Barbara, I ended up going to a community college for a year. And that's when I took darkroom photography classes and digital photography. At the time, that's when digital photography just started to become popular. I remember we had a 500 or 256 megabyte card that went into my Canon 10D, and it was the most exciting thing. And then we moved to 512 megabytes, and then a gig. It just blew my mind. You know, like digital was just starting to come out and get popular, so it was very cool. That's when I really fell in love with photography, is that first year at a community college, and that's when I did all the darkroom. And I found out that when I was in the darkroom, time just went by really fast. So I would, like, our class was probably over at like 5 o'clock, and then the advanced darkroom class would come in later on that evening. And I remember I would go into the darkroom at like noon, and then I probably wouldn't leave till like 7, and it was one of those like 7 p.m. like in the evening when people are supposed to have dinner, and it was one of those like, you know, you look at your watch and you're like, I can't believe it, I've been here for 7 hours, you know, like, I fell in love with, like, developing my own stuff, and, like, not really knowing, like, if you got the shot, like, this is when you didn't have, you know, digital, and you were still, like, you kind of took the picture, and then later on you're like, dang, I hope I got it, if I didn't, so I'm screwed, because you can't go back to the moment, you don't really know if you got the shot, you know, so I spent a lot of time in the darkroom, and I really, that's when I really found my passion for photography.
Yeah. Your passion for what? What was that?
Photography.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and thereafter, I graduated from Cal State Fullerton with a degree in communications. I gave my mom my degree. I was like, okay, I got a 4-year like degree. I got a BA. Are you happy, Mom? Just let me take pretty pictures. You know, that's what I want to do. And so I ended up, and you know, my mom is always like, so I come from my mom's side. They're like, a lot of them are like doctors and nurses, and they're all in the medical field. And then of course I come out and I'm just like, I want nothing to do with it. I mean, I love like the idea of taking care of people, but biology and sort of human anatomy never came really natural to me. So even though like I tried to, like, my mom always wanted, like, for Halloween she used to dress me up as like a nurse, like probably like 6 years in a row. She put a little nursing cap on me, and like that was like her dream, was for me to become a nurse. And she gets this very artistic child that like loves photography. And so, you know, after I graduated, she's like, Sheryl, you need to get, like, a real job in life. Like, you can't just, like, take pictures, you know? Like, you have to do, like, you have to become an adult and do these, like, real things with your life. So I applied to about, you know, I had a degree in communications, so I applied to about 10 places in Orange County because I was living in Costa Mesa in Irvine at the time. And one place on the whim in La Jolla, and I ended up getting the job in La Jolla like right away. You know, they needed me, and they needed me as a the jobs I applied to in Orange County were all like communication, sort of advertising jobs, and then the job here was as a medical photographer for a skin and laser place. And I didn't really know what a medical photographer did at the time, you know. I was just like, what do you take, like, medical equipment photography? And so they ended up interviewing me, and I would take these before and after pictures. That's sort of the job description. And so interviewing me, they needed me right away. So I didn't know anyone in San Diego, but I moved, you know, here. I moved all my stuff here, and I've been here since. That was in 2007. And yeah, it's been an incredible experience. I worked for them for probably about a year, and then I decided that I wanted to start my own portrait studio at the time. So I started a portrait studio in Mission Valley, and I would do family portraits and babies and business headshots, things like that. And then I kind of, you know, moved out of that space a little bit, and I realized that I really enjoyed the type of photography that involves props, like, you know, boa feathers and like silly hats and mustaches, and so I started a more of like a photo booth company. So basically what we do is it's almost like a portable studio. So we would take it, let's say you're having like a corporate event or a quinceañera, we would take our portable studio, to your event. We'd set up the lights, the background, we'd bring all of our props, and guests come by, they put a prop on, we take their pictures. So we have live photographers. So it's a little bit different than a photo booth. When people think photo booth, they think of like a button you push, and then like you squeeze into this like really small, you know, space, and then, you know, and then the curtain, and there's a curtain. So we're a little bit different than a photo booth. But people have so much fun, and I noticed that I really enjoyed that space of, you know, props and printing the photos instantly. We just did a Mother's Day event, and it's so funny at the Bernardo Country Club, and the grandmas and grandpas are like looking, the grandpas are like looking at the picture, and they're like, wow, this comes out so fast. You know, it's like amazing. It's like the most exciting thing since sliced bread for them. So it's just, you know, it's been fun. So we print out photos right on the spot. You know, guests get to dress up. It's tons of fun. Tomorrow we're doing an event at the Hard Rock Hotel, and it's a corporate event. It's a little bit stuffy, but like they feel like, you know, people that have sometimes 9-to-5 jobs in the corporate world, they feel like they can't really like let their hair down and like have fun. And it's like the one time like during like, you know, like your like Christmas party where you feel like, you know, people, you know, maybe like there's, you know, like a bar, and then you can just, you know, have fun, and you can let your hair down, and you can just like take some silly pictures that you otherwise, you know, wouldn't if you're, you know, in a office. So it's been really fun. So I do that full time. I have, and I also do some family portraits and a few weddings here and there. But most of my business is involved in like the photo booth space, and then I also work part time as a personal trainer, which I actually. I got into that, you know, by accident, actually. That's an interesting story because, you know, people always ask me, they go, well, you know, what made you become a person? What made you, like, inspired you to become a personal trainer? They always want to know my story. And that is a very interesting story. What happened there is I was actually engaged at the time. This was 2012. And my fiance at the time, he was extremely controlling, and he didn't like how I had my own business. Like that for him just wasn't very appealing. Right. And he was like, I just, you know, babe, I just don't like how you're like going to Balboa Park and shooting like a family, and then later on you're in Coronado. It's just, I don't know where you are, and I can't keep track of you, you know, kind of thing. And I was like, okay. So he's like, you need to like get like something like, you know, where I would know where you are, you know, and like something like a job, like a stable something. And so I knew I was going to see him the next night because we were going to have dinner together. So I, the next day, like I applied to the Perfect Workout as a, not really being very serious. I mean, I've always had an interest in fitness and an interest in eating healthy, but I wasn't very serious about actually working there. I was just going to apply to tell my fiance that night that like, hey, I applied somewhere, you know, I'm just kind of waiting back. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely open to this. And so I ended up, and then, you know, things kind of hit the roof with that relationship, and we just realized we would make better friends in life, and we weren't, you know, looking at our, like, as a two partners for a lifetime, we weren't compatible. That's what it was. We just weren't compatible. So I ended up breaking off, we ended up breaking off the engagement. And then I thought, I was like, well, this is kind of cool, you know, because I did go to some of the interviews, and, you know, I went to 2 interviews. They liked me a lot. They're like, hey, you should come work for us. And I thought about it, and I was like, this would be, you know, a really cool experience. I mean, I have always had an interest in exercise and fitness and eating healthy, and why not? You know, I know this kind of came out of like a weird situation, but why not just like see, you know, where it goes? And so they ended up offering me the hours that I wanted, which was just, you know, mornings, because I wanted to run my business in the afternoon and evenings. That's when most of our photo booth events would happen. So that ended up, it just all fit into place. It's so interesting how sometimes the stars just align and like things just work and it all like comes together. So it ended up working perfectly, and I started to work there about a year ago, a year and 3 months, and that's been an incredible experience too. You know, I have clients, and I just got a text message from a client last night, and he's like, he's one of those very, what do you call it, like complex kind of people, or like hard to work with. I mean, he would describe this about himself. Like, this is not just me saying it. Like, if you listen to this, he'd be like, yeah, that's me. Like, so he's just, you know, a very fascinating person. And so he texted me last night. He was like, I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me to relax my stomach, and he was like, I am relaxing it, because he has like abs now. He
Yeah.
like wasn't used to that. Now he has abs, and like it's just very cool seeing my clients become stronger each day, and they'll just tell me things that, like, I have more energy now, like, I can go up my steps without being out of breath, like my abs are like awesome looking, they'll tell me these things. So it's very cool. I really like that part of my life as well, treating clients in the fitness space, and then also the photo booth space. So right now, yeah, that's how things. I don't know if that answers your question. I know I'm just kind of like jumbling it all together, but that's sort of how everything got started.
That's given me a really good idea of who you are. I'm inspired by your courage to continue on the path of what you want to do and what really lights you up, despite the influence of your family and your mother and them telling you what you should be doing. That's pretty awesome. And also, like you said, as far as how your path in fitness now and what you're doing there, how it all came to be through some situation that wasn't the most positive situation, but it actually turned something from something negative into a positive, and that's really cool to hear that as well. So awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Sheryl.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious now, what challenges you? What are the things that you are looking to overcome within your own personal life that will help you accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in life?
Oh, I like that. That's a good question. Oh, now we're going real deep, Jay. I thought we were just gonna go an inch above below water, and now we're going like 3 to 5.
Oh,
I
so
don't know.
this is
Ready
only
for
this is only an inch because we can get way deeper than this right now. But we will come to later when we're off air.
when we're out there? Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. Right now, I wish I could say like right now everything's just like amazing, right? Like everything's amazing and life is beautiful every single day. And it is if you make it and you choose to be happy and you choose to make it beautiful.
Hmm.
Right now there are definitely some challenges or opportunities, yeah, that I'm going through. And for instance, I had an outside sales guy who quit, and so that's been a little bit of a challenge, kind of filling that space. And he said he was going to be at the. So we're a preferred vendor at the Hall of Champions, and he was supposed to show up for this event because we had 2 events going on that day, and he was supposed to show up, and he quit. And so it's like you constantly have to like find people to sort of like fill those spaces, and it's been hard because. It was last minute, first of all, and the girls that I work with, so the girls that work at Picture Bakery, all of them are students. I hire the students from University of San Diego and USC, and so they were all in finals that week. So it was a really tough time for me to like find somebody. And luckily, I actually had a good friend that wasn't doing anything that week, and I had to tell her everything about Picture Bakery in like literally like 1 hour because she would basically be telling people about it even though she's never experienced it. She knows nothing about it. Like, I gave her the tablecloth and their banners, and I was like, okay, here's all the frequently asked questions. This is how you answer them. So, you have stuff like that. I think that comes along, like the challenges of like, staffing or somebody quitting. And then, in the relationship space, I was seeing this guy, and that kind of it just didn't work out for a lot of reasons, which we can go into later. I don't know how deep you want to go here, but yeah, I've been having a lot of like really unexpected setbacks and disappointments in my life right now, like both personally and in my business. And what's sort of helped me carry through it is realizing the why of what I'm doing. So Where I am right now, it's very easy because I'm like my own team, right? Like I'm not in like some partnership with somebody else. Like I run my business, and sometimes it can feel like a very lonely world if you're in your business just like you yourself and I, like, and I do have like girls that I hire, they're all contracted, but sometimes it can be a very lonely world. So I think that having a really big why, like why am I doing what I'm doing? Like that's what is going to keep picture bakery sort of like inspired and encouraged when you have like people quit, or like you have stuff that goes on personally, like just keeping that big why. Like I started this business because I really wanted to have fun. Going back to the fun, I know we were talking about fun. Like at the time, I was going to start, I actually moved to Orange County for about 6 months to start a photography rental studio. And so we had poured a lot of our time and a lot of our money into this creative space for graphic designers, for photographers. And we had our big Irvine studio grand opening, and I wanted people to remember their experience at the Irvine studio and also have a lot of fun, and take home something that was tangible and memorable to them. So at the time I went to the dollar store and I got those just big, like, silly glasses, and then I bought a printer, and and then we had the big, Irvine studio grand opening, and people had so much fun, using different backdrops and wearing the props, and they left home with the Irvine studio logo and a print they could remember and like put on the fridge. And so it all came from this idea of like creating memorable moments for people that are attending events, and also having fun. Like I felt like people had so much fun when they were able to try an afro on. I mean, when's the last time you wore an afro, Jay? Tell me about
that. 2 months ago. 3 months. Doing one right now.
For some people, it hasn't been 2 months. For some people, it's been a year. And so. And then, I created, so the Irvine studio, actually, there were some massive problems with it, and it ended up not working out for a lot of reasons. A lot of it was marketing, a lot of it, and then, so pulled out of that, ended up moving back to San Diego, and so I had this printer, and, I have a photography background and lights, and I thought, why don't I just bring this to like my own parties and my friends' parties, because this is fun, and so when we had my birthday party, that's all I wanted. I wanted just pictures of my friends, and then my friends who had their own birthday parties, I brought my little printer along, and we would take fun pictures. And so this whole idea of like creating a memorable experience for people and leaving home with a moment they can never go back to ever. Like you can never pay. If I had $1 million, I can never go back to this photo I took like 2 years ago. Like it's incredible, like this moment in time that you capture that you can never go back to. And I feel the same way with wedding photography as well. On Saturday I'm going to Temecula. I'm shooting a wedding like in a barn, with like, and the bridesmaids are wearing cowboy boots. It's gonna be fun, and like those moments, it's like you can never go back to those, and that's why it's so important to have them. And so having a big enough why, like why are you doing what you're doing, will keep your business moving in the right direction, and it will keep that momentum and keep you inspired, especially when you're by yourself, because it can be very challenging.
Right. Wow. So I kind of have an idea of what your why might be, but I'd love to hear specifically, what is your why?
Yeah, so my why, I mean, it stems from a lot of things. Like the first thing which I mentioned was like, I really want people to take home a memorable experience and to have fun, and I provide that experience. So like when I tell the girls in Picture Bakery, like I have this manual that we all go through, and I tell them, I was like, listen, there are people whose lives are so monotonous, and the one time they have with Picture Bakery could like change their life forever, like maybe not change their life forever, but they'll remember that. And so I tell the girls, I was like, you have this one time to make an impression on people, and to give, like, we're not just a typical photo booth. There's not a button you push. Like, there's a live photographer that interacts with people, that makes you smile, that's like, oh, turn this way, give me duck face, or like, give me, kissy face. And guys are like, kissy face, yeah, what is that, like, but you just say stuff to make people smile and happy, and so like we have like this one experience to make people sort of remember like how fun and how like we give people an experience, you know, more than a photo booth. We give people an experience where they can interact with their friends, where they can have fun and create a memory space, you know, and then have all these pictures that they can take home. And so, you know, when I have technology problems, which I'm not a very, I mean, hello, this is my first time on Google Hangout. Okay, that's how much technology advanced I am. You know, like this is, and you know, photo booth actually requires like a lot of like, you know, you're sending stuff from the camera to the printer to the computer, you know, and then you're sometimes, you know, putting a logo on it, and so it's very actually. And I'm not a technology savvy person, but it, you know, you have to know a little bit of technology to do that. So. So yeah, it's been like challenging at times because I'm like, I want to throw this computer out the window. What is going on here? Like I'm always like emailing like the software developer, and I'm like, there's something wrong with your program. And it's not me. I know I'm a little technology like not savvy, but so yeah, like I really want to document people's lives, and I really want to change their lives, and I really want them to look back at photos and realize like how much fun they have and how precious life is, you know, like on the way over here was crazy. Like there was like two guys that were lying in the middle of the street, and it looked like there was about 15 cars that actually pulled over and were like trying to help, you know, and I don't know what happened, but it was some kind of accident. I thought I would cause more harm than good if I would pull over because there was just so much traffic between like the accident and like me. But like, I mean, it looked like they were like, you know, probably had some sort of, the reason why people couldn't pick them up is they actually had like a spinal or a brain injury, so you just leave them there, right, till like the ambulance comes basically. So I was looking at that and I was just thought like how like precious life is, you know, and like, you know, how often do we tell like our closest friends and family how much they mean to us and how much like we care for them and how important they are in our lives and how much impact they've had. And it's like sometimes, you know, it does take something like seeing something like that to realize that, but like when at the end of my life, you know, at the end of my life, when all is said and done, I want people to say, you know, like Sheryl, you know, was like, she just was like amazing at like documenting memories and like bringing the best out in people, whether that was in photos or like, you know, just face to face. And I just want to create this space where we can document people having fun and people can remember it for the rest of their life.
Capturing moments.
Yeah. I'm going to have to take your picture, Jay, huh?
What's the, oh, yeah.
Yeah, where's my camera? I'll be right back.
My good side, right there. Hold on one second. I need to get my battery charger before this thing powers up. Oh, crap. Did I hear just a camera snap? What are you doing over there?
I'm like that creepy photographer that's taking pictures of you while you're I'm just kidding.
You're a sniper? A camera sniper? So cool. I know your challenges now, or some of the things that challenge you. I know your background. So I have a really good idea of where you come from, and I get a sense of like how you show up in the world. And thank you for sharing with me what your challenges are. And as you were sharing that, what came to me is something that I started to notice as we develop the EvoRoom that is a great need in our world today, which is, you know, education is huge, obviously, all around the world, more from an academic, you know, standpoint, right? And so we're learning science, we're learning math, we're learning English, and all these different things. One thing that I see is missing that needs to be a staple within all cultures is our interpersonal education, like learning how to deal with, you know, when issues arise in our life and we feel stress, how to deal with that stress, how to deal with heartache from breakups, how to deal with asking for the things that you need, or how to create boundaries. Like those things aren't necessarily, you know, instilled within a lot of people, and I think because the family dynamic as it used to be before doesn't exist as it is today. Like the mothers and fathers usually are working full time, and the child is being raised by media, their peers, and others, and they're not given those interpersonal skills that are really important in order to build connection with others and really with ourselves. And as a result, a lot of lost souls go running around the earth because they're not able to deal with the congestion from the suffering that they are experiencing. And so what the Evo Room provides is a place where people can learn those practices that, a lot of people didn't learn throughout their life. And they take those practices into their lives so that they can manage when things come up, when struggles happen in their workplace or even in their personal relationship. Now they have practices that can help them move through that pain and that suffering a lot faster, which is why we say we create experiences that accelerate growth. Because instead of people staying in that pain for a long period of time, which doesn't allow for inspiration and all those other things to come in, they can move through that pain and then get back to a point of homeostasis and well-being. And then that's where the inspiration arises and creation comes from. So that's, is the premise of why we do the things that we do. Can you hold on for one moment? Because I have my good friend that's leaving,
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to say goodbye to him.
That's good to chat too.
Yeah,
Very clear. Very clear.
Yeah. We need to do this. I got so much shit to do. So I'm glad we had that time to have this one to make that happen. Man.
Yeah.
Call me if you need anything at all. So you already hang out as well. So we'll get on that. Yeah. I know you're like, do that.
Yeah. But yeah, and we'll just keep connected over next. I'll be back. So we can really get stuff moving. But that call, I'll set it up in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then we can keep the connection. I've already sent an introduction email to all the people in the call.
Beautiful.
So
okay. When you touch down where you're going and get settled in your call, let's find out you're going out and just talk.
Yeah.
Go from there.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
Right, thank you. Take care, man. Okay, I'm back. Oh, you're so cute. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So that's something that I was just recognizing recently in the things that we're doing. Like, what's the EvoRoom all about? Like, why is it even important to people? I've been answering that question, to really understand like what it is that we're doing, because to be honest, I don't fully get it. I just know that I have a gift to give to the world, and I've been giving it, and it's making an impact. And I don't know at what level. I just see it actually happening from the stories that people are telling me, experiences that they're having, and of course I love it. I'm completely fulfilled, in what I'm doing right now, and it's really, really fun for me. And so that's something that is really important that I'm noticing out of people, is like, how do you deal with these struggles and challenges that we face in life? And I think we offer that for people in a really unique, fun way, but very, very effective at the same time, in helping people get results in their life so that they can move through their problems and create opportunities from their problems, just as I did in my life, which is why I needed to go through all that pain and suffering, because now I can relate to others that go through their shit, and I'm not coming from a place of really not being able to relate. And then the community aspect within the EvoRoom is really important, as you were saying, like the feeling of being alone. I feel alone and not supported, going back to the family dynamics that don't exist anymore. And as human beings, I mean, all throughout humanity, we existed as tribes, but now that we live in a world where everyone is separate, even though we're more connected than ever through technology, people are feeling more separate and more lonely than they've ever felt before in their life, which is why I believe the EvoRoom provides so much value to people, because we focus so much on connection, on creating a connection between ourselves and then with other people. And through that connection, when people feel supported, they just like their superpowers and their unique gifts just shine like it's never done before. And then when people feel that, they want more, they want more, they want more. And one of the problems that we've been facing with the EvoRoom is that when people leave, some of them actually face a little depression, and anxiety, because when they come into the Evo room and they feel this space where they're feeling love, they're feeling seen, they're feeling valued as an individual, and then they leave that and go back to their lives, and they're like, holy shit, like, I want that. It's like a drug that makes you feel really, really good, but now you don't have that drug anymore. There's withdrawals that happen. And so we're, now that has given rise to, well, how do we give that to them? How do they get access to that? But instead of, them having to come to us, and have to go to the Evo room in order to feel that experience, our objective now is to show them how to create an Evo room experience for themselves and wherever they are. So now they can take it anywhere around the world and not worry about, like, when am I going to have the Evo room again, because I want that feeling. Well, you can create that feeling for yourself wherever you are.
Jay, I want to get high. I mean, when's the next? I want to get Evo Room high. What is the next one? Come on, let me put it in my calendar right now.
Oh my God, Joe, you're silly.
I don't know if Larry warned you. I'm pretty silly. I'm a big goofball.
Oh my gosh. That was great. I want to get Evo Room high. I want to get chocolate high.
Right now.
Oh my God. The next one is May 31st here in the North County.
Is that Memorial Day weekend?
No, Memorial Day weekend's this weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
The following weekend is when we're going to do, when we have our next Evo Room experience scheduled. And they're normally 9 hours to 24 hours long.
I don't know if people will want to hang out with me that long.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, I want to hang out with you right now.
That's a long time to be hanging out with somebody, let me tell you.
That's the thing. Even though, like, that seems like a long period of time for people, when they experience the Evo Room, a lot of them don't want to leave, because I realize that the environment and space that we create is something that's really rare and special. So I get it why people don't want to leave. So now we've been throwing after parties so that people don't have to leave and they could enjoy each other, enjoy that energy for a longer period of time. But it doesn't last forever for them. We can't have an Evo Room for like 100 hours straight. We have to now teach people how to fish, right? And this is exactly what we're doing. We're giving them the tools so that they can move through their shit in their life. And even if they don't have shit, maybe they're already at a really balanced place. Now they want to evolve. So how do you do that? So we give those tools that we have worked on. And, in my own life, 6 years of my life I'd spent on healing myself, and figuring out, why do I have these emotional episodes and anger issues and temper and all of that. Like, I had to go through my own shit and work through that. And within that, I learned a lot about how consciousness unfolds, and using quantum physics and psychology and all these different things that I studied to figure out for myself, like, why am I feeling so fucked up? What's going on? And with all that knowledge that I gained and my experience in the entertainment industry, I combined the two to create what's now called the Evo Room.
That is so cool. Well, thank you for your work.
You're welcome.
Your contribution to this world. That's so cool what you're doing. And I want to get high, Jay. Well, I have a photo shoot on the 31st, so I book up. Let me tell you, this lady, I book up quick. So you need to tell me like months in advance.
Well, we have the next one, which is the last weekend in June, but that's going to be a multi-day experience. The one on 31st is a day-long experience.
Oh, day-long. Okay.
So for June,
the day-longs would probably be good. Yeah, the day-longs. And I don't want to like jump into the pool. I just want to like, just kind of dabble my little toes in first and kind of see if it's safe, and then kind of go in.
No, I completely understand, and I would love for you, if you had the space, to jump into the pool, because I know, like, just listening to you and where you're coming from, that you would take so much from that experience that would allow you to grow exponentially, and make a bigger impact and greater impact in what it is that you're doing. I guarantee that. I guarantee that to everyone, that's the experience that they'll have, and your money back. I trust in what I'm doing. I have so much confidence in what I'm doing. So what we're doing as a team, because we have some rock stars that understand this space, and um, we're just really effective at it because we really care. I have a great desire to help others just reach to their fullest potential, and my intention is set, my heart is pure, and I'll continue forward, walking with that intention. And it's created some really magical experiences for myself and those around me, and there's nothing better for me, at this moment at least, that I would rather do. Um, so yeah,
That's beautiful.
the story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, maybe I can get out of that. I may be able to reschedule that photo shoot on the 31st. Is there a Facebook group, or how would I find out more about the event?
Everything's secret. So.
Oh, really?
Well,
that's how y'all get high together, huh? Oh, secret. Okay.
No, we don't put all the information out on Facebook for a number of reasons. We want to make sure that we create a really safe space for the people that are involved in the process. And so with your email, we send out details of what's going to happen, where it's going to happen. Like, we keep the location private as well. But from this point forward, what you would receive, if you're open to joining on the 31st, we'll get you the information. An itinerary is actually what we put together for people, which tells them exactly what they need to bring, what they need to prepare for. We put the group that we put together all into one Facebook thread, so they can start actually interacting before they even interact with each other. And it's so amazing, Sheryl. Like,
yeah.
Watch perfect, complete strangers come together, and within hours, a lot of the time, when I go into the space and we have a facilitator, doing an EvoRoom experience, everyone's in a cuddle puddle within hours, just hanging out, like really enjoying each other as if they were already family, and you would never know that they were strangers just hours before. And that's a testament to the connection, the focus on connection that we have, because then when people are truly connected and feeling supported, then a whole different world exists for them. And by the end of the day, that's why they don't want to leave, because they feel that connection so deeply with each other, and they don't want to go back into the worlds where they feel alone. And I understand that, totally get it, but it's something that we really focus on now. And I want to offer to you, Sheryl, because I hear you. I totally hear where you're coming from and what could really help you accelerate in life. I love the way you show up. I love your desire to create and capture moments for people that help them, like, find peace within themselves and find that fun to help them change their life. And I want to help you enhance that impact that you're making in the world. That's exactly where I am at. And why we seek and do these interviews is because we're seeking the people that are impact players, and our job is to help them make a greater impact in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In a fun way.
I like that.
So, if you can, reschedule that.
Yeah, I'll definitely. What time is it on the 31st?
Starts at 9, ends at 8 in the evening.
Oh, this better be fun. I'm just kidding. I'm like, that's a long time.
It is. But the investment in time that you make in this, I promise you and guarantee that you will find value in that, and that it'll, impact your life in a really awesome way.
Okay, yeah. I'll see if I can reschedule that. And then you can just, once I commit to going, or could you send me, I'm like a person that needs to, like, know what's going to happen. I'm like kind of that, like, not like super type A, but, I just kind of want to know what's going on, what the flow is going to be like, what just
well,
stuff.
Here's the thing, Sheryl. I totally get that from people. It's like trying to know something in order to feel comfortable and safe. But I think hopefully that in this moment, in engaging with me, you may get a sense that I focus, and it's really important for me to create safe spaces for people so that they can actually grow. And so I will put out there for you. I can give you all the information in the world to make you feel comfortable, but there is a point where you have to kind of release and let go. And Sheryl, if you feel in your heart, like, once you tap into yourself and if you get that yes within yourself, just let go of all of the need to want to understand and know things. I'll give you information. I'm not saying I won't do that, but there's a point at which you just have to surrender. And when you surrender and let go, you're going to get way more than you could imagine in a really positive way.
Okay.
So
I'm open to way more than I imagined in a positive way. I'm open to those things.
yeah, it's what I found in my life and also in others when we let go of the need to create expectation or create a knowing of something, because the way I look at it, what we offer is not something that most people have experienced. And so as a result, I can sit here all day and try to label things and give you words of what it may be like. But once you enter the space, it's not, you're going to be like, okay, Jay, I totally get it. That what, what I'm saying here, doesn't ever compare and really give it justice of what it is that we actually do when we create these experiences. But you got to know that it's going to be fun, because that, like I said, if it's not fun, then I'm not doing it, but it's going to be fun. I can guarantee you that, and transformational at the same time, because that's the gift that I bring to the world, and I want to rock it and rock it to a whole new level.
Rock it, Jay.
And I really hope that you'll be there on the 31st, Sheryl, because just the way you're showing up and what you want to bring to the world, I think is really needed, and you can contribute a lot of the energy that you bring that'll help people get out of their box, and we all have to work together to do that for each other. I'm not here just to help out everyone else. We all have to work together collectively in a group to help each other rise. And that's what you'll find in the EvoRoom. Once you connect, with these individuals, you'll have, people around that are there to support you, and all the things that you need. Like, if exponentially you're creating resources for yourself emotionally and also physically and tangibly, it's definitely amazing.
Okay. I like what I hear.
Yeah. It's coming from the heart. I'm sure you could feel that. I'm not sharing this stuff just to, make you happy. Part of it is
Just talking just to talk right now, just to say pretty words. I'm just kidding.
You say pretty words. I'm very, very driven in my purpose and my mission to really help people unfold their potential. And I'm not, till the day I pass, I'm not going to stop in that realm. Because 6 years ago, I made my intention to myself, like, I want to leave a legacy that inspires people long after I'm dead, like the Andrew Carnegies of the world, like the Martin Luther Kings of the world. And so I've been on that path for quite a while now, and I feel like I'm doing the things I need to do to actually create that legacy. So,
well, I just want to go to the EvoRoom to meet you.
Yeah, that's awesome. We could do that too.
That's it. That's why I want to go. And you said it was going to be a little bit of fun. So
you're so sweet. Thank you, Sheryl. So, any other questions I can answer for you other than that?
No, we're good. I'll spam your Facebook inbox and we'll be good to go. Give me the details. Give me the details. You're okay with that, right? I just want to ask permission before I do that.
From you, I'm totally okay with that. Totally.
Oh, it was so good talking with you.
Pleasure was absolutely mine. Thank you, Sheryl, so much for taking this time and bringing yourself to the table, being open with me, sharing who you are. I really thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and it's definitely lit me up and given me some energy to move through my day with inspiration.
We haven't even gone real deep, too. I mean, there's like deeper levels that I just didn't say here because it's my first time on Google Hangout, and I'm not sure I'm comfortable with as a virtual space yet. So just so you know, I was holding back a little bit.
Well, I guess that's a good thing, because that gives rise to and motivation to meeting each other and really going deep and creating a deeper connection. I could imagine what our relationship would be like with a deeper connection. I feel this already as it is a really awesome connection that we have, and what unfolds of that, I'm sure is going to be really, really awesome and magical. So yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome, Sheryl. Again, thank you for taking the time to have this conversation with me. Next few days, or actually, as soon as you can, let me know. If you're
Okay.
committed committed for the 31st, and if you are, then I'll send you the details on what's going to go down, and we'll go from there.
Scared. I'm just kidding. All
It's natural.
right, that
It's
sounds good.
totally
Yeah,
natural. Like a lot of shit comes up when people commit to something like this.
I didn't
And
know we could swear on this like virtual hangout. Now you tell me.
fuck yeah, I've been cussing the whole time. What are you talking about?
Okay, Jay. Now I know. Now I
I
know.
promise you this. One thing about me is you're gonna get me. Like I'm not gonna hold back on expressing myself, and that's I believe one of the reasons why um, I can provide inspiration for others is because a lot of people hold themselves back, in self-expression, and when we're able to freely express ourselves, it's freedom, like true, actual freedom. And a lot of people don't have that. They don't feel free because they feel judgment or feel like people are going to look at them in a certain way. I've moved through that. I'm past that. I'm still got, little things here and there when it comes to that I need to move through. But for the most part, like I freely express myself. And as a result, sometimes I get in trouble, but, nothing too serious. But for the most
What
part,
things do you do here?
well, you're going to find out. You're going to find out. Like right now, I'm wearing tights. See, like who wears tights?
Oh wow, camo. No, not just any tights. Camo
Camo
tights.
tights.
Okay. I appreciate you showing up like that, like you just did. I appreciate your time. No, really, you could be doing anything at 11:15 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, and I appreciate your time right now. I really do.
Oh well,
I look forward to meeting you.
this was awesome, and I couldn't imagine doing anything better than having this lovely
And
conversation.
showing me your camo tights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, the lateral view.
Got booty to go with
Rear.
it.
I'm getting the lateral, rear, and the anterior. Anterior, posterior, lateral. Woo-hoo! I don't know if I can handle this. Let me get a swig of water here and feel a little flushed. Woo! All right.
That's good to leave on. You'll be dreaming about me all day, so that's cool.
Whew. We have to. It's getting hot in here. Ooh, let me take some clothes off. All right, Jay. Well, hey, have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, we will. I'm looking forward to that, and enjoy the day, Cheryl. You take
Okay.
care.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to turn this off. I think I just.